Hi there, this is Chris, Chap in the Cap from Motolegends, here today to talk to you about a simply gorgeous leather jacket from our friends at Belstaff. The jacket is called the Turner jacket. This is the Turner jacket from Belstaff, the brand that has recently returned to British hands. Now, within the Belstaff firmament, there are three styles of jackets, three lengths as it were. There's the shortest style, known as the Mojave, there's the longest style, known as the Trialmaster, and there's the style in between, this style that's known as the Crosby. The shortest jacket is great, it's very sporty, very Steve McQueen, but there's an issue where when you sit on the bike, especially if it's any kind of cafe race or a bike where you're leant forward, it can leave a gap between the jeans and the bottom of the jacket. The Trialmaster's at the other end of the spectrum, it's very long. If you're short like I am, it can make it look as though someone's cut your legs off. When you sit on the bike, if you're of a certain stature, you end up sat on the tail of the jacket. It doesn't work on everyone. The jacket in the middle, the Crosby, is, in our view, the perfect length for biking. So it's long enough to cover the waistline and the belt line, but not so long that it's ever encumbering. And you get this side adjuster that means you also don't have the faff of the belt, because sometimes that can be annoying to have to contend with. The Turner jacket is, in essence, the Crosby done in leather. It's as simple as that. So let's talk through the jacket. The chassis of the jacket is a 1 to 1.1 millimeter leather. Now, that's nothing special. We have a lot of jackets here that are at that weight, some of them a lot heavier. But what distinguishes a Belstaff jacket are the oils and waxes that it's treated with. It's hand oiled, hand waxed to give it a number of factors, as it were. One is it gives it this kind of two-tone effect. So there are areas here where it's much darker, and then around the stitching it might be lighter. It gives it a wonderful patina. The waxing and oiling also softens the leather, and this leather is beautiful. You put on one of these jackets and it feels like the kind of jacket that you could have picked up on Bond Street, which of course you could pick up a jacket like this without armour from Bond Street. It would be a pretty similar jacket. The oil and waxing also makes this jacket a little bit more waterproof. Now, I would not want to suggest that this is the kind of jacket you would wear in the rain. To some that would be a sacrilegious notion because it's just too nice a jacket. But if you did get caught out in the rain in it, then the oils and waxes are going to make it a little bit more impermeable than some leather jackets. Obviously the problem with leather is when it rains it just soaks in, but the oils and waxes in this will make that less of an issue. Still, I wouldn't think you'd want to ride for more than half an hour to an hour in the rain with this. After that it is just going to soak in. Let's talk through some of the features on the jacket. I'll just walk through it and we'll highlight some of the features of it. Up here you've got this traditional neck collar, belt and loops system. That is common to pretty much every jacket in Belstaff's pure motorcycle collection. Here on the inside we have a tartan lining. Again, that's become pretty much de rigueur with brands like Belstaff and Barber. It connotes traditional British craftsmanship and so on. In the collar you will have a corduroy lining. You have that there on the collar, but also in the sleeve cuffs. Pretty much there for comfort. It has a marginal benefit here. If you were out in the rain, it would stop rain running into the collar. Don't think that's why it's there, but it's a secondary effect. Zips, obviously by YKK. Zips haven't always been a Belstaff strength, and I'm going to come back and talk about that later, but YKK zips are the best, so no issues there. In terms of styling, you have these quilted areas on the shoulders and the elbows. That's a decorative feature, looks fantastic. Does it have any functional benefit? I think marginal. If you were to end up going down the road in a jacket like this, having extra layers of leather, because this is an extra pad of layer over the main leather chassis, that's got to be good. So it has some functional benefit, but I think it's there largely for the aesthetics. In terms of pockets, you get 4 flat pockets. As I've mentioned, you've got side adjusters here rather than a belt, and at the end of the sleeves there's no zip, but you have a 2-popper adjuster there. That's about it from a kind of feature and functional point of view. There is an inside pocket as well. In terms of protection, now, Belstaff is not the large company that sometimes people think it is. They've put all of their gear in this last year through CE approvals, but they have a large number of jackets, and that was an immense financial burden. So in this year, they've only gone for the A-level approval. A-level is urban. Now, this jacket would sail through urban, but if you try to apply it for a higher level, say AA or AAA, and you fail to meet AAA, you have to pay again to test at AA. So Belstaff just took the view in this year that they would go for an A-level accreditation. So this jacket is only approved at the A level. But as I say, it would have sailed through that. There is a previous version that is still on the market that is non-CE approved. There will be no difference whatsoever in the levels of protection, because to pass that simplest A level, Belstaff will have had to do nothing to this jacket to get it through, and we know that for a fact. So there are no differences between the two jackets. There is, however, a difference that is not to do with CE that makes this jacket a little bit better than the non-CE version, and it's this zip. Now, I mentioned zips before. Belstaff have not always worked with YKK, and on previous iterations of this jacket, they had a two-way zip, and the idea was the zip would come down here, and the idea was that when you sat on the bike, you would lift the zip to allow the jacket to splay. You don't have to do this with the jacket because it will naturally splay because the zip is higher. The problem with that two-way zip is that it was notoriously unreliable. You only had to get it marginally out of kilter, give it a pull, and it would break. So many people who had the previous generation of Belstaff jacket would end up breaking the zip. Belstaff would repair it once, but they wouldn't do it more than once. It was not Belstaff's finest component. But now we've got a single zip, it's a YKK zip, that is not going to be an issue in the future. So, even though this is an A-level or an A-rated jacket, it's going to be a very safe jacket because leather's still the most abrasion-resistant material you can have on a motorcycle. Yes, there are some denims that are higher rated, but in terms of jackets, leather's still very much where it's at. In terms of armour, you get a standard D30 in the shoulders and elbows. There's a pocket for a back protector. It doesn't come as standard. Getting hold of Belstaff's own back protector is a little bit tricky. We hold a lot of stock here, but we very rarely have their back protector. So we tend to use one, a D30 one again, but from another brand. This jacket, normally every size in this jacket, I think takes what we call a T8 size. So fitting this with a D30 back protector is not an issue. That's going to be about an extra £50. In terms of thermal, this jacket was also designed so you can take either their Coventry jacket or their Lamfell vest. In all honesty, I wouldn't bother. They're not particularly technical pieces. They look the part, but if you want to stay warm in this jacket, there are much better items that you can buy that will do the same job. Maybe you want to go for a roll neck jumper for that kind of classic look, or you can wear something technical like merino, but buying their particular versions I don't think adds much. The jacket comes in this colour, which is called a black brown. It comes in two other colours, which I've got here. This is the burnt aquero, works really well. It shows that lightness and darkness tone even better than the black brown. And if you want the full storm fur look, then it comes completely in black. Now, price. This is not an inexpensive jacket. It's a Belstaff, it's a leather jacket. You wouldn't expect it to be inexpensive. It's £1,075. Whenever I come out with something like that, I get a storm of people responding to the videos saying, oh, my first house didn't cost as much as that, or I'd expect to get a bike thrown in for that price. But that is to miss the point. When you buy a Belstaff, you are buying into its handmade credentials, you're buying into its heritage, you're buying into its exclusivity. I can liken it only to motorbikes. So you go out and buy an MV Agusta Brutale or a dragster. I think that's a 16 or 17 grand bike. You are buying a bike that people are going to look at in the car park. It is a work of art. It looks beautiful. But you can go out and buy a bike like a Triumph Speed Triple at 11 grand, which is 6, 7, 8 grand cheaper. It does exactly the same job and costs a lot less. So when you buy a Belstaff jacket, you're not looking at it in terms of value for money. You're buying exclusivity. It would not have that exclusivity if this came onto the market at £500. We have jackets that look very similar to this. There's a great one from Hellston's, the Hellston's Hunts jacket. Jackets that look very much like this for half the money, but they're not going to give you this lovely badge on the side, and they're not going to have the credentials that a jacket like this has. So if you think £1,075 is too much for a Belstaff jacket, it says just one thing: you're not a Belstaff buyer. People are prepared to pay that kind of money to get the exclusivity that comes with this jacket. It's as simple as that. So if you like the Belstaff Turner, it's £1,075, suck it up. If you'd like to see more Belstaff jackets, then visit the website motolegends.com. We are, of course, far and away the UK's largest stockist of Belstaff. If you want to learn more about the Turner jacket in particular, then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you directly to the relevant page on our website. There you can check out the spec in a wee bit more detail, you can check out on availability, and clearly if you're so minded you can buy one of the jackets there and then. Now when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on anything we sell. Returns are free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you want to return something to us. We have the best price guarantee in the business. Now, John Lewis is rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold price promise. We go one better. If you can find anything that we sell being sold by another retailer at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat their price by a full 10%. If the retailer is in the EU and not in the UK, we will match their landed price. Now, there are a few terms and conditions, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in the future you'd like to receive email bulletins from us about new products, then if you go to the website, at the top of every page there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there, within seconds you'll be in business, you'll receive bulletins from us in the future. If however you would prefer to get your information videographically, that is to say in this form, we would be simply delighted if you want to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Now this is 2020. During this year, we're going to be giving away a motorcycle to a subscriber to our channel. The bike is what we're calling a Steve McQueen tribute bike. It's based on a Mutt 125cc machine. It's a real little cutie. You can read all about it on the front page of our website or on the home page of our YouTube channel. Obviously, you've got to become a subscriber. We'll be drawing the prize just before the end of the year. Finally, I'd like to make a play for our fabulous little shop here at Motolegends. We are based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. As I suggest, the shop footprint is not large, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £2 million worth of gear arranged over 3 floors. Technically, that makes us the second largest motorcycle shop in the country. But we think that we are far more than just the quantity of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we'll sit down, we'll have a chat over a cup of the finest Italian illy coffee or over a proper Yorkshire tea served in a proper teapot. And if you're lucky, who knows, you might even get one of Sean's mum's delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.